Hi everybody, it's Dorkable77 and today I decided I would start a tag. This tag is going to be called I Love Kimono. I just noticed that there wasn't a kimono tag out there, so I thought, what the hell, I'll make one. So anybody can do this tag. There's going to be 6 questions. I'm going to go through each question. So question number 1 is, what got you into kimono? Now, what got me into kimono, which is probably like a typical answer for people who like anime, but it's anime. One specific anime in particular is Rurouni Kenshin. I really admired Kaoru and her kimono. I just thought she was super elegant, and here's this girl who's like really tough and on the tomboyish side, and who does kendo and kicks ass and wears this beautiful, elegant kimono and can be very graceful and elegant and classy and feminine. So that's what kind of drew me into it. Question number 2 is, how did you get your first kimono? My first kimono was actually a gift from my ex-fiance that I was with for about 4 years. To this day, I still have the kimono. It's a lovely green kimono. I would say the type, but I'm gonna mispronounce it, and I always say common because I always think of like common as like common cards for like Magic or Yu-Gi-Oh or Pokemon. But it's basically the type of kimono that you would wear when you're going around town. It's like called town wear. It's very informal and it's really pretty. The only thing is it's a little bit too small, so I accidentally busted the back seam when I sat down in it one time really improperly. Oops. 3 is, what is your first time wearing kimono? My first time wearing kimono was a really awesome experience. It was really positive, and I think it was kind of a unique experience. But in 2008, I joined immortalgeisha.com, and during that time, the owner and creator of Immortal Geisha decided to go to Fanime and throw on a kimono fashion show. And the concept was kimono for any body type. So you could be short, you could be tall, you could be apple, you could be pear, you could be hourglass, and they would show different women with different body types in kimono. And Naomi is the person who is in charge of Immortal Geisha, noticed that I was going to Fanime and asked me to be in the fashion show. And of course I said yes, and she's super sweet, so could not turn her down. And that was the first time wearing kimono was in that fashion show. And it was just a really positive experience because I was surrounded by people who have been wearing kimono and who've loved kimono for a really long time. And the fact that they dress you and you just look really elegant and really lovely, and you just felt really beautiful. And even though I didn't wear kimono before, I realized I really like it. It's a really nice experience, and if you haven't done it yet, I suggest you try to wear kimono. Question 4 is, where do you buy your kimono from? So, because I live in the area that I live, I can go and travel to certain places that have large populations of Japanese people, like LA, San Jose, and Francisco. All have some form of Japantown. If I can, I'll buy from in-store, in person, the shops, or I'll go to anime conventions, and if I can find an affordable dealer and I can find a good deal, I'll buy it. But because I don't really have that much of a budget for kimono, and I'm a really low cost kind of girl, I usually tend to buy my items off of eBay. So I buy my things off of eBay because it's just cheaper. You get a lot of detailed pictures so you can judge the quality. And because I like to wear my pieces a lot, I prefer to find pieces that are more affordable with less damage. So I tend to go the eBay route because it's just cheaper and you tend to get items that are more wearable and better in condition that you can wear. 5. Do you prefer vintage kimono over modern kimono? I love vintage kimono. I just love the designs. It's very unique, very bright, very bold, very colorful. As you can tell, I love vintage. I really, really do. But the problem for me is because I am plus sized or in between plus size, I have a harder time fitting into vintage pieces. So that doesn't necessarily mean that I don't own vintage pieces, it's just harder for me to wear them. And because I tend to wear my pieces more and gravitate towards pieces that I can actually wear, I prefer buying modern more. Just because the kimono are more, generally like more roomy, and there's less tailoring, because when you get a vintage piece, the chances are it's going to be tailored because it was handed down throughout the generations of the family and fit it to that particular family's, you know, body type, height. So they've taken in the kimono, they've let out the kimono, the sleeves are a different length, or they've adjusted the sleeves, or some reason. So I tend to find that it's harder for me to find vintage kimono. Not only is it that the size of like the hip area that is harder for me to fit into, but it's also the length, because I'm 5'6.5", almost 5'7". I prefer my kimono to be in the 160 to 170 centimeter range, so I can get the proper fold in the kimono and wear it properly instead of just having it straight down, which, I mean, you can have it straight down and not have the fold, but to wear it properly you have to have like the fold. Is, why do you love kimono? I could probably write an essay on why I love kimono. I really could. To me, kimono is really elegant, it's really classy, it's really sexy and feminine without showing a lot of skin. It's a fashion statement. It's, to me, it has a lot of tradition and values and artistry that goes into kimono. For example, kimono for the most part are made by hand, so they're hand stitched, and then you have the different dyeing processes, and you just like all of the hard work that goes into a kimono. It's just amazing, and they've become these art pieces, these beautiful art pieces that you get to wear, and your body just becomes this canvas. And when you wear a kimono, you're properly displaying this art piece, and it just brings the kimono to life, and you get to express yourself in kimono in a different way than from normal clothes. Because the shape is the same, you have the cylinder shape, and that's basically the body shape that you want with kimono. You get to express your personality through patterns and motifs and color and the type of kimono, because you can tell a lot about a person from their kimono. You can tell from their age to the formality of the occasion that they're going to. You can tell from, do they like youthful, bright, vibrant patterns? Do they love vintage? You know, Are they going to tea ceremony? You can tell a lot from a person's kimono. And that's really awesome, I think. You can just tell. And not only is kimono an art in the sense that it has these beautiful dyeing techniques, the way you wear kimono is considered an art form in itself. And I just think that's awesome. Tradition, I don't really necessarily see it as a costume. I just see it as like a fashion statement, something that you can wear and express yourself, and it's just beautiful. What can I say? Kimono is beautiful. So that's why I love kimono. I could go on and on and on and tell you more, but I don't want this video to be too long. So thanks guys for watching, and like again, you guys can tag yourself. You can do this whatever you want. It doesn't matter like your skill level or anything. You guys can change the questions. I don't care. Just do whatever you want, and thanks for watching. Bye!